Everyone, I am Carmen Michael, the professional mic holder.
Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
I am the fire starter, the Carney Killer. I am born to die, Jake Crest.
This is Bobby Olson.
This is Anthrax of H2O.
My name's Christopher Landon, Anthony Streeter.
My name is Frank Minetti.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Red Air and one half of the PH Boys from Hood Classic Entertainment, representing the Hood Boys, the PH Boys, Purple Haze, Prince Alexander.
This is Martin Stone, the original Strong Style Hooligan.
And today, you have the privilege
of drinking at Moe's.
And you know I'm drinking with Mo.
And you are drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinking at Moe's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts. They got hoodies. They got beanies. They got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinking at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody. Drinking at Moe's, my 2 cents. Big Mo here, Nate here, and boy, there we go. You know what I always say when I get the burps like that. All right. Now, you guys know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment. I'll hit the notification bell. And you know what to do with the damn like button. You need to hit the like button faster than Ultimate Warrior running to the ring.
That's the Ultimate Warrior! It is! Look at that! The Ultimate Warrior! Warrior Kingdom!
All right. Oh, and don't forget the audio platforms. And if you have something you want us to cover, by all means, leave it in the comment section. Leave a comment on the social media platforms. By all means, we welcome the discussion. And, today we're going to have some kind of random thoughts with regards to wrestling. And you know what? I'm going to start off with one.
Is that a dog toy?
Yes, it's a dog toy because I got my foster dog right at my feet. She's pretty much attached to my damn hip. Anyways. Oh, damn. Yep. Giving me the burps. All right.
Maybe you should find something else to drink.
Why the fuck would I want to do that? All right. Now, getting into my first random thought that I have when it comes to wrestling. And you know what? This one came up literally a couple days ago, or maybe like a day or that. Days are blending together right now. But, this whole my 2 cents thing, we've always said it's our opinions. It is our opinions, each of ours individually and ours alone. If you agree with it, cool. If you don't, awesome. Wrestling is subjective. Something that you like, I might not. Something, and vice versa. People listening or watching this, they might like what we have to say. They might not. And you know what? Nobody's wrong. Hell, sometimes I don't even like what I say. I'm the worst damn critic. But, you know, when certain people like to get a little, for the lack of a better term, butthurt, when somebody gives a negative opinion about their show,
oh no,
and go and delete people from Facebook.
Oh,
It's like, come on. Because you know what? I actually had this talk with somebody that it's like, you know what? It's not like I was the only one out of the entire area that thought the way that it did. I was just the one to actually vocalize it and say it. But you know what? I like to try to keep, the interviews lighthearted and fun. I try to keep this lighthearted and fun. Yeah, sometimes I get on a little bit of a rant. That happens. No, me no.
Oh.
But the whole thing is, if you are literally that salty that you can't take somebody giving an opinion that you don't like about your show, and to be honest, when some people there like to say that their dream job is to being creative, and then you pretty much you book one match in particular that we've talked about to shit. Yeah. And hell, here's the other thing. Fightful, they have their NXT post show, their post show review. It's also called Sour Graps, where they'll acknowledge the good stuff. We acknowledge the good stuff about all sorts of shows, from local to us to national independence to national TV. But then we're not shy of saying what we don't. Nobody goes tearing down the Fightful people for, saying something that WWE might not like. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's just like, really? You're going to get all butthurt about me giving a negative opinion? That's my little rant.
You're going to call that a rant? That's kind of tame compared to some of the other ones that you've thrown out there.
Oh, trust me. I could go longer.
Well, I'm sure you could. I mean, I could probably get you going by naming off one name of a wrestler, but I'm not going to.
Good. It's just like I said, it's just one of those things. I'm not even worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
I find it funny
that someone could be butthurt that much to go, I don't want to be his friend no more.
Pretty much.
I don't like the way he's talking about what I do.
Who left their panties in the wash?
I'll tell you later.
Somebody that has such a high opinion of themselves that when asking for different help, they're wanting people with like national TV production. And I'm like, you're not gonna find with national TV.
If it's the same person that we're thinking of, the only person that's got any form of national TV production is himself, because he went to Florida for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then, because here's the thing, you're not going to find people with that sort of exposure that are willing to take small, independent booking money. It's not going to happen. Unless they're friends with you and they're willing to do it at a discount. which, to be honest, we don't really have that around here.
Oh. Yeah, I've got nothing on that one, so.
Yeah, like I said, that one was probably going to be more me venting than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. You said you had something you were thinking of.
Okay. So I'm just gonna throw this out here. This is my random thought. This is my rant. So if there anybody that's out there that has a wrestling podcast and you don't fall into this, I'm sorry. But I'm basically gonna shit on a lot of wrestling podcasts. So last Saturday actually was the Royal Rumble. I was actually in Minnesota. Could not watch the Royal Rumble. I watched a lot of it pop up on Facebook.
So I was watching it as it happened, and let me just say before I not to interrupt you too much, but I will just say, in my opinion, from surprises to just how the match went down, the women's Rumble was a lot better than the men's.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. That the women's Royal Rumble was the one that basically saved the show, and I think the KO and your other favorite wrestler saved it too.
No.
Other than that,
Kevin Owens, he did solid, but let's just say the ending to it left a lot to be desired from me.
Well, I will say that Kevin Owens had the line of the night Friday night on SmackDown when Logan Paul said he doesn't want him to get too close because he smells. And Kevin Owens says it's because I've been bathing in prime for the last 2 days.
And I also liked when Logan Paul was venting to Nick Aldis about being mad people were making fun of him, calling him a part-timer, and it's like, yeah, well, because that's what you are.
True.
All right, I interrupted you too much.
Yeah. So the Royal Rumble, and that happened, and we all know who won, we all know who showed up, we all know the surprises. I'm pretty sure everyone else that watched the Rumble, yourself included, when Jade Cargill finally showed up, about fucking time.
Yeah, because I was all like, really? Is this going to be another one of those Veer is coming things?
Mm-hmm.
Where they make such a big deal about it and then it takes for fucking ever?
Well, and here's the issue I had with that. Yeah, she looked great when she came out. She had the jacket on, she took it off, she looked ripped, she looked cut. She
did amazing in that damn match.
She did amazing. However, she looked unsure of herself when she was walking to the ring.
I guess I wasn't really paying that close
watch some of the playback. Go to YouTube and watch some of the playback, and she's got this look on her face like, I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to be here. But then again, adrenaline kicks in, and she actually has a pretty good showing.
Oh, yeah. No, she did amazing.
But here's my random thought. If you're a wrestling podcaster, or if you're a dude that runs on Twitch and decides he's going to make a big deal about watching the Royal Rumble while you're streaming on Twitch, maybe, just maybe, you should know some of the people that might be in. A lot of these, I watched 3 compilation videos. They were all the same YouTubers and Twitch streamers. You could tell which ones had their fandom. You could see it in their background. There was all WWE stuff in their background. There's one chick on there that had just all WWE. And she had one AEW title, and that was hidden right behind her. If she didn't do this, you wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, behind me, it's all wrestling all over the place. Like, they're some of them are still WWE figures, but I got people from AEW, WWE, Impact. I got all of it.
So, in watching these, like I said, I watched 3 of them. One of them was reactions to Naomi returning. One of them was reaction to Jade Cargill. And the other one was the surprise of the Rumble when Jordan Grace showed up.
That for me, like, it took me like a second because like her music hit, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Who has sirens in their theme music in WWE? And then she stepped out there, and I was like, oh, shit.
So when you watch the Naomi one, they start the music off, and everyone already starts losing their shit. Naomi's back. We already knew Naomi was coming back.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Well, you didn't know because you don't watch.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, the peanut gallery.
I could go for some peanuts. That thing I tell my wife all the time, I could go for some peanuts.
So you watch this and everyone's losing their shit over it and yada, yada, yada. Then you watch the Jade Cargill one. And yes, there were some people that are like, oh, and they start losing their shit. And you got some guys that are going to have to rinse out their jockeys once they were done watching the Royal Rumble because they were blowing their loads all over the place. Sorry if I said it like that.
You know what? That just made me think of that Lonely Island song, Jizz in My Pants.
Yes, exactly.
You know what? I'm editing this in there. I'm editing that part. Boom. I already made up my mind.
You're welcome. But when Jordan Grace showed up, my faith in wrestling YouTubers and Twitch streamers went from here down to here because how are you going to call yourself a wrestling YouTuber and a Twitch streamer and stuff like that if all you're doing is watching WWE? If you don't know who Jordan Grace is,
you've got something wrong with you.
Yes. There were some people that were even like, well, how can she be in here when she's not even with the company? I call it a shock. Oh God. She showed up. They called her, she showed up. It was a shock value thing. I think what WWE should do from here on out, because last year, and this is another thing, last year, Mickie James showed up as the Impact World Champion. Now, you could say that she has her time with WWE. That's fine to do it.
Which I brought up.
You have brought up. And I've heard a lot of people say the only reason why they called her to come in for the Royal Rumble was the new regime apologizing for the old regime, how they got rid of her. Look it up. It's the garbage bag thing. That was the old regime. New regime was like, yeah, we're sorry. Here's a spot in the Royal Rumble.
Now, here's
go ahead.
An interesting thing that I just thought of with regards to that. Naomi, Trinity, whatever, great talent, by the way. But I'm almost thinking that, TNA maybe thought they would have her for longer. And you know how it's been known that WWE kind of sent a little money ECW's way during that time.
Oh, that was a known fact they did.
Yeah, no, it's a known fact that they did. I'm almost thinking this was a similar thing with Jordan Grace in the Royal Rumble. So they got Naomi from TNA, and you know what? As a kind of a little goodwill gesture, they're like, "Hey, you got a talent you would like to have us have in our Royal Rumble show?"
My understanding is WWE, and I don't know who it was, maybe it was Triple H that called, but he wound up calling Scott D'Amore, president of the TNA.
Yeah, if you watch Jordan Grace's little spiel, yeah, she mentioned Scott D'Amore came up to her and said something about being in the Rumble.
what do you got going on next week or something like that. It was because they had called on a Saturday and made, got everything rolling. And then I guess by Monday she was in Tampa, I think, doing blood work and doing a physical and whatnot. And she was there Thursday going through rehearsals.
Apparently, it was a thing that had been worked on for a little bit. Like when Naomi Trinity was, in known talks with WWE about coming back.
Well, here's the thing.
And this was Jordan Grace has said that she was hearing from Scott about doing the Rumble around that time, and she purposely didn't tell Naomi just so that she could see her reaction when she showed up to the Performance Center.
So as far as all that goes, Trinity dropped the Naomi Trinity, whatever, dropped the Impact Championship at Hard to Kill, which was beginning of the year. I can't remember what.
Yeah, it was right around the beginning of the year. Yeah.
And then during the taping, which I think was that following week, they had what was essentially Trinity's last match, which actually on the whenever the last time that Impact came on was the 29th, maybe it was the 25th. That was when, whatever it was, they had a match. Jordan Grace versus Trinity. That was Trinity's last match. And that was actually recorded 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, because of the way that they do their tapings, they tape a whole bunch at once.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so she shows up. Everyone, and from what Jordan Grace says, everyone was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Well, and the funny thing is, you hear that a lot about the women in WWE, that locker room. They are amazing. There's no one. I mean, there might be some toxic people there, but when you're Jordan Grace, who's going to be toxic to you?
I know I sure wouldn't want to be.
No, but anyway, it amazed me that how you got all these guys that are wrestling YouTubers, and some of them, I've seen before, just kind of scrolling, finding something to watch, and you see it's like, oh, okay, well, he's talking about that. It's 2 hours long. I don't feel like watching it. And it's stuff that I remember. And when you watch, it's like, oh, who's got a siren for a ventricle? Well, who is that chick? What belt is that? I mean, how are you going to call yourself a wrestling YouTuber? You don't even know who the competition is. It bugs the piss out of me.
Oh my God! Yeah,
But there are.
Speaking of other wrestling podcasts, I really don't like shitting on people,
but sometimes it's fun.
Oh my God! But exactly what you brought up there. When a certain wrestling podcast wanted to think that a certain TNA was taking ideas from, you pretty much lost all credibility with me.
Oh, well, I've actually
just saying, when a certain promotion has a show the exact same name as TNA that has been doing that show by that name for years, you can't tell me that okay, people in the independent business, sometimes when they get their free time, they don't want to spend some of their precious that words are hard. Precious free time watching TV wrestling. I understand that. But you can't tell me somebody in that promotion didn't know that TNA runs a show by that same damn name. And then one, oh God, yeah, then that podcast telling me about, oh, well, if they do a show by this, then they're really taking it. Like, one, they've been running the name of that show for years. And then the same person that ended up deleting me from Facebook comes and says, oh, he didn't watch too much TV wrestling, and they've been they had that show named for months. And I'm like, did you not just hear what I just said?
Yeah, well, but speaking of that, speaking of those individuals, and I'm just gonna say this right now, I've checked out your page. You're not a wrestling podcast, because the majority of your videos are either crappy ass trivia that the dude that you're asking trivia to doesn't know squat. I had that answered within seconds of you bringing it up. Number two, I really don't give two shits if you go to a restaurant. I don't need to see you shoving food down your throat from a local restaurant. You're a wrestling podcast. Do shit like this.
That's the thing.
I don't care if you go to a local restaurant and you go, hey, who do you think's going to win the Royal? I don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Multiple wrestlers from national TV and independents have all, when I've talked to them, told me pretty much the same thing when it comes to the longevity of the podcast is to keep it consistent.
Well, they're consistently showing crap, so.
No, the only thing there, other than that, is pretty much the only consistent thing there, because the releases of their stuff is very inconsistent. There might be 2 one week, 1 another week. They might skip a week, and it's just inconsistent.
Anyway, as I was saying, if you're going to be a wrestling podcaster, at least know people that are in wrestling, not just WWE.
And not just a promotion that you're sponsoring and have your head up their ass.
You know, I'll go off on another one. There was, it might have been, God, I can't remember. Might have been Progress Wrestling over in the UK. What they did for their watch along, they had their commentators were actually watching on a big screen. And as soon as Jordan Grace's siren goes off, everyone behind him started flipping their shit. Jordan Grace, the next thing you know, they knew who the fuck it was. Everyone else over here is like, who's that? Why is she here? She doesn't work here. She can't go after their title.
Yeah, like
who cares?
Like I said when it came to me, it took me a second, but then the moment she walked out there, I'm like, my eyes widened, and I'm like, holy shit.
So and going off of that, back in the 90s, whenever WWE would be down, and WCW actually did this in the past too. When they were down, like in the southern states, when I say southern states, like southeastern states, like or southwestern
Florida,
states,
Mississippi, Alabama, that's what
the other side.
Oh, the other side,
Texas,
the southwest.
Yeah, southwest. Directions are hard.
Yeah.
So southwest area, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, stuff like that, your border states. They would regularly bring in luchadors and put them in. There was one Royal Rumble where you had guys from, I think, AAA promotion, from may have been from CMLL, the oldest wrestling promotion in the world.
I know I've definitely seen AAA in there before.
From I believe it's IWA or IWC out of Puerto Rico with the headhunter.
I know what you're talking about. Carlos Colon's promotion.
Carlos Colon's. And those guys would show up in the days of the internet. If that happened, would those guys be flipping their shit? Oh, well, they're not here normally. Why are they in the Rumble? Who gives a crap?
You're getting to see somebody new.
You know, WCW would book Mil Mascaras, who, if you ever want to see prima donna in the dictionary, you'll find his picture. That dude didn't want to sell shit to nobody. He only wanted to make himself look better. Anyway,
was he the one that basically eliminated himself by jumping over the top onto some people outside?
Mm-hmm. He did not want to get eliminated by anyone. He said, "I'm not getting eliminated," and they finally said, "Fine, do whatever you want." He winds up tossing someone over the top rope and said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna jump off the top rope here." And then when he tries to get back in the ring, the referee's like, "No, I'm sorry, you're back. Go back. You're eliminated." WCW, he didn't want to sell for Cactus Jack when he had a match. And that was so bad that Cactus Jack just said, "Fuck it, just do whatever you want. I don't care."
Yeah.
Okay, we've gone off on several different tangents on here. If you're a wrestling podcast, know who the fuck is going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Know your shit.
Know your shit. Don't look at it going, "Well, who the hell is that?" No. That you lose credibility when you do that crap.
And even if you are doing an interview and you maybe, let's say you don't know as much about them before the interview, do your homework prior to the interview, and then hell, I'll admit there's been plenty of people on my interviews that initially, yeah, I might not have known as much about them.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got information on them through other people that I've had on, and then I go and I look them up and I'm like, oh yeah, he seems like somebody I could have a fun interview with. And then I go and I start looking up information about them, so it looks at least like I know my shit. My little adding to the rant. But you know what? I was trying to think if I had any other random thoughts.
I got nothing.
Because, yeah, we have some specific categories that we're going to be recording for other episodes here tonight. So, you know what? We're going to get into those. Anyways, for this episode, we're done. Make sure, everybody, you have a good week. I know we got Valentine's Day coming up. Guys, make sure you remember so you don't end up sleeping on the fucking couch. Let's fucking go.